Welcome back. Today we'll look at a very old loan word. We'll talk about the Missouri Compromise, a little known but remarkable baseball great, a singer-songwriter, a song and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle back, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for March 3rd. March 3rd is the 62nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 63rd if it happens to be a leap year. Today's word is eremitism. Eremitism. Eremitism is a noun that means the practice of living in solitary retirement, living as a hermit in solitude, often for religious or spiritual reasons. It's the state or way of life of a hermit, a form of monasticism characterized by isolation from society, typically for contemplative and ascetic purposes. An example sentence might be, "The monk embraced eremitism, retreating to the mountains to dedicate himself to prayer and solitude." The concept of eremitism isn't just historical. It shows up in mythology, literature, and film. Consider the fictional characters of Yoda in Star Wars, or Gandalf during his wanderer phase in The Lord of the Rings. Both embody aspects of eremitic wisdom, withdrawing from society to seek knowledge and returning when needed. The word eremitism comes to us through Old French, Latin before that, ultimately from Greek, where it meant one who lives in the desert. First known use is in the 1200s, eremitism. Today's word eremitism was suggested by YouTube viewer at Crystal Southerly 8729. Thanks, Crystal. And if you have a word you'd like us to look into in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll check it out. And with that, progressing into the 1800s, contention over the issue of slavery had come to be quite a thing. Many felt that slave labor was not a good thing and wished to see it done away with. If you needed work done, for example, find someone who could or would do the job and then pay them for their work. But those who had come to depend on slave labor were loath to give it up. Since both sides felt very strongly about it, the issues around slavery became a focal point, a hot-button issue for argument and contention. With this background, the Missouri Territory had applied for statehood. One of the Northern representatives submitted some amendments to that request with an eye to restricting slavery in that soon-to-be new state. Southern representatives believed slavery was a state issue, and the Senate was split right down the middle. If Missouri were to be allowed to be admitted as a slave state, it would give the South an advantage in the slavery question. Long about that time, Maine also petitioned for statehood as what was called a free soil state, and the two bills were quickly linked with Maine's admission as a free soil state, a condition for Missouri entering the Union as a slave state. Matters only became more complex from there. What they finally came upon was the Missouri Compromise. Slavery would be permitted in Missouri and the Arkansas Territory, but prohibited in the unorganized territory of the Great Plains, which were nearly as big in square mile size as then existing United States. The Missouri Compromise was passed on March 3rd, 1820. This is the birthday of baseball great John Montgomery Ward, born March 3rd, 1860. When I saw that name, I thought of the former department store, now online ordering store, Montgomery Ward. And while this Mr. Ward did try his hand as a traveling salesman, that didn't work out for him. He went back home and rediscovered baseball. He played for several teams and then managed for actually the same teams that he'd played for. He pitched the second perfect game in baseball history. A perfect game is 3 up, 3 down, 9 times in a row. Pretty remarkable feat. The first perfect game was pitched in 1880, and the following 143 years through the 2023 season, only 24 perfect games have been pitched. John Montgomery Ward lived to the age of 65 and was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1964 by the Veterans Committee. This is the birthday of Arthur Lane Watson. We know him better, though, as guitarist, singer, and songwriter Doc Watson. When I saw his name in the birthday lineup, it rang a bell because I've seen so many bluegrass artists mention how they admire and were inspired by Doc Watson. So let me tell you a little bit about this award-winning artist. He was born on March 3, 1923 in Deep Gap, North Carolina. He got an eye infection and lost his vision before he was 2 years old. He was able to attend North Carolina's School for the Blind. He bought his first guitar with money he earned working with his brother on the family farm. Musically, he was influenced by performances of artists like the Carter Family and Jimmy Rogers. Doc's career began in 1953 when he joined Jack Williams' Country and Western Swing Band, playing electric guitar. How he came to be called Doc was that he was on a live radio broadcast and the announcer said that his name, Arthur, was odd and he needed an easy nickname. Someone in the audience shouted out, "Call him Doc," and the name stuck, Doc Watson. He was playing with a band that didn't have a fiddle, so he taught himself to play fiddle tunes on the guitar, a technique that later defined his signature sound. In 1960, during the American folk music revival, Watson transitioned to acoustic guitar and banjo, and his innovative flat-picking and finger-picking guitar styles elevated the acoustic guitar from a background instrument to a lead role in various music genres. He won 7 Grammy Awards, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and was inducted into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame in 2010. He played right up nearly to the end with his last performance in April of 2012. He passed in May of 2012 at the age of 89. Doc Watson. Today's song, then, is Deep River Blues by Doc Watson. Deep River Blues is an old traditional blues tune with roots in early Delta blues and folk music. It was originally recorded by the Delmore Brothers in 1933 under the title I've Got the Big River Blues. I've Got the Big River Blues. Doc Watson released the song on his 1964 self-titled debut album, and Deep River Blues became a signature song for Doc Watson. It's considered a guitar standard, studied and practiced by aspiring acoustic guitarists, and has been covered by many musicians. Deep River Blues by Doc Watson. Link in the description. I wouldn't say it's been particularly windy today, but my wind chime has been singing all day long. Today's quote is from fashion designer Oscar de la Renta, who said, "Fashion is about dressing according to what's fashionable. Style is more about being yourself." Oscar de la Renta. Alrighty, we're going to let that be a wrap. Y'all be good to each other, and I'll see you next time. There you go. No, I don't want to do that. There. Stick guitar and banjo. Did you really? Okay, hold on. Well, we got a good way before that happened. Okay, hold on. All right. Uh-oh. File not found. Why? I don't know what file it couldn't find, but we're fine now. Okay. Let's back up a little bit. Oh, it can't. Okay. Show me the file. I don't know what file it wants, but this is the one we're going to give it. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.